Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. Happy Friday to you. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I'll say thank you to everybody who is here this morning. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning to Chris. Good morning to Tony. Let's see here. Good morning to Lauren. Good to see you here today. Wonderful to see everybody around. Indeed, it is a wonderful, wonderful day today. So yeah, we're here today to say some good stuff about us and ultimately to set ourselves up for success. And this being Friday, to close out the week and really give ourselves or tell the story of what has happened this week through the cards. So I'm going to get started pretty quick. I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck, ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do that, we are going to be really choosing intentionally to focus on things that are good for us. And the fact is that there's so much in life that we could choose to focus on, or that maybe we're not choosing it intentionally. It's just something that we can't get out of our brains. So let's take some time and be intentional about our focus. So let's pull a card and say that today I am thriving. I am thriving. I flourish and grow in my environment. So I am thriving. I flourish and grow in my environment. Are you thriving? You are thriving. You flourish and grow in your environment. I'll write that down in the comments. I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Let's take ownership of this word today. Let's truly believe that we are thriving, and let's recognize that the environment that we've created for ourselves is one that we have the ability to flourish and grow in. So I am thriving. I flourish and grow in my environment. All right. Lauren beats me to it. But yes, indeed, here comes from Tony as well. Good morning, guys. All right, so yes, indeed, we are thriving today. We flourish and grow in our environment. Hey, Tony, I saw your comment about Mother's Day. I know that you recently lost your mom. I know that the first Mother's Day without her is rough. I remember the first Father's Day without my dad, and it was definitely a rough thing, especially as I am now a father. Like, wow, this dads do a lot, and they're very important in the lives of their children. Although I'm not sure that I'm quite that important in the life of my child just yet. She still hasn't quite realized exactly how much I do around here. But yeah. Anyways, the fact is, I just wanted to reach out and tell you how some great compassion and that I love you and care about you, and that I know that you're going through it. So just know that the Jews have a saying when somebody passes away. They say, may your memory be a blessing, or may their memory be a blessing. And so every time that you think about your mom, I hope that that is a blessing to you, a blessing of realizing just how much love was there. Because as C.S. Lewis puts it, the price of great love is great pain. How could we, if we don't feel pain when somebody passes, then how can we know that we ever loved them or that they ever loved us? But anyways, just wanted to reach out to you there. Chris, I loved your thing about life being a choose your own adventure book. I remember those books. I remember those books, and I remember that there were like places in those books that I could never get to. I would choose my own adventure, and then I would also kind of like try to find how to get to certain places in the book. Like, but choose your own adventure books are like a maze, but they're a verbal maze. They're you make this choice, go to page one. Make this choice, go to page 13. And I remember that there was just this one book that had there was just like a whole line of story that I could never figure out how to get to, and I wonder if that they just never actually put the page number or put the choice point in there. Maybe the book was just a little bit fatter, and they just made the book a little bit fatter without actually ever making that a path. But anyways, so today, well, let's affirm that we are thriving, that we that we flourish and grow in our environment. In order for us to flourish and grow, we have to really set ourselves up for success. We have to feed and water our brains. We have to set up our physical spaces for success. So about 2 years ago, I rescued this lamb's ear plant from the side of the road at the entrance to the valley, and I just kind of took some cuttings of it because it was yeah this yeah, this plant was just it was growing, but it wasn't growing in a particularly great place. It was kept on getting run over. It was like literally right on the side of the driveway, and planted it in a planter box and just kind of left it. And for about 2 years, not much happened. But this year, this thing is absolutely exploding in growth. I guess I just put it into it. I moved it into a different place, a different location, and I have never seen lamb's ear get this big. This plant is like 18 inches tall and flowering. I have never. All it needed was some love. All it needed was a change in its environment. It flourished and grow. It flourishes and grows simply because I changed its environment up. It wasn't doing super great on the side of the road. It wasn't even doing super great in the pot where I originally put it. It was doing okay. It wasn't dying. It would go away in the wintertime and come back in the summertime. But this year, just the place that it's located and the soil mixture that it's in has just absolutely caused it to explode in growth. And it's really a good metaphor for our lives. When we set ourselves up for success by setting up our environment how it needs to be, it allows us to reach heights that we hadn't been able to reach before. And that requires some intentionality, and it requires some intentionality in a couple different ways. The first way is that we need to make sure that we personally are set up, that our mindset is correct for the thing that we aim to accomplish. Our success in life rarely outpaces our personal development in life. Another thing we need to do, we need to understand what it is that what we are working to accomplish. Uh, I'll never forget. Once upon a time, I was dressed pretty much like this. I was wearing some silk pajamas and a robe, and I walked outside, and my neighbor was building a shed out of sheet metal. And he calls me over. He says, "Maui Paul, please come over and help me. I just need some help with this, managing this big piece of sheet metal." And I said, "Absolutely, no problem." And that's how I found myself dressed in satin jammies and a robe, doing sheet metal work for about an hour or so to help out my neighbor. Well, I obviously wasn't dressed for this, but it didn't really matter. I mean, I thought it was very funny because flowing robes are not the ideal thing to be dressed in when working with sheet metal. Sheet metal it would have been best if I was in more of like a leather, tight fitting clothing and and heavy leather gloves and a leather apron for doing this sheet metal work, because we were chopping sheet metal with shears, and there was like the sheet metal is like working with razor blades is basically what it is. But it was very funny to me when we did that project, because I was thinking to myself during the whole thing, I'm like, I am completely not dressed for this, and I would probably be more effective if I wasn't concerned about catching my silk jammies on this sheet metal, and if I could just really focus more on the job. Of course, I didn't plan to do the job. I just walked out, and my neighbor needed help, so I helped him, and that was but I always thought about that. I was like, I probably could have dressed for success a little bit more. I probably would have been more helpful to him if I'd have just taken 5 minutes, walked back inside, grabbed some clothes that were more appropriate for that chore, and then come on out with a pair of gloves and some tight fitting clothing. But I didn't, and in the end, we still got the job done. But it was very funny. That was the day that I did sheet metal work in dressed kind of like I'm dressed today. The other thing that we need to understand, that not only do we need to understand what it is that we are working to accomplish, but we also have to understand when we're setting up our environments as to we have to understand where we really intend to go with it. And so in order for us to flourish and grow, we not only need to set up our environments for what we need to accomplish today, we also need to set up our environments for what we intend to accomplish tomorrow. We need to know what kind of tools that we have to have at our disposal in order to be successful. We need to know, we need to know what kind of space and really what kind of a workshop is necessary. When I was younger, I did metalworking, and so including sheet metal, ironically enough. And so I had a toolbox that was full of precision measuring tools. Well, nowadays I still have a toolbox that's full of precision measuring tools, some of which are mine, some of which I inherited from my dad. The tools that can measure metal down to a tenth of a thousandth of an inch. I don't use these tools; they're not necessary. I almost never have occasion to measure anything down to a thousandth of an inch. Never mind a tenth of a thousandth of an inch. But I still have all this stuff. But just because I have it doesn't mean that I have any projects to do with it. And so the projects that I do nowadays are really more of basic carpentry projects, and so I have a toolbox for that as well. So in the end, in order for us to flourish and grow in our environment, we need to set ourselves up for success, both in our minds and also in our physical spaces. And by understanding where we're going and what we're doing, it allows us to know what kind of tools. It allows us to curate that environment. And so that's what we're going to do today. So let's be intentional about curating our environments. Let's be intentional about choosing exactly what it is that we intend to do, and then setting ourselves up for success to do that thing. When I lived on Maui, I sold art, and so I ran into a lot of very successful artists, artists that had their own galleries, and artists that were well represented, and people who were making money selling pictures that they painted. And this is not, if you've ever been an artist, you understand it's not the easiest thing to do. It requires not just the technical skill; it also requires a tremendous amount of marketing yourself. Well, I was talking with um, the late Anthony Quinn about about this, and I said, and Anthony at the time was Anthony Quinn was a very famous or a very successful Hollywood actor. He was also he was also a very prolific artist. And I asked him, I said, so how is it that you just have such a huge body of work? Because he not only had made lots of different Hollywood movies, but also he was we represented him as an artist, and he was a painter and a sculptor, and he did watercolors, and he did oils and acrylics. And I said, how is it that how do you produce so much? And he said, he said that the secret is to always have my space set up and always go into it every day. He said inspiration is bullshit, which I thought was very funny coming from an artist who was obviously very inspired on a regular basis. He said inspiration is bullshit. He's like, art is hard work. He said you set up your environment to succeed, and then you go and you sit down at your easel and you paint something. And if you paint enough things, eventually you're going to paint something that is absolutely incredible and amazing. He's like, but you have to have your space set up, and that way, when inspiration strikes, and sometimes inspiration does strike. He said, when inspiration strikes for me, I run down to my studio and I catch that inspiration. My studio having already been set up by me in the past for my own future success. I thought that was a really important thing to understand about how we can thrive, and how we set up our environments. I realize that whenever I'm thriving, it's because I have an environment that's set up for me to thrive. And whenever I'm not thriving, it's because of the environment that I typically set up has been co-opted for other things, or I'm trying to use the same environment for two or three different things at the same time, and not actually being successful at any of them. It's one of the reasons that I'm moving my office to out of my living room, because my living room needs to be living for living. I can't live and work in the same space. It's very, very difficult. But anyway, I am thriving today. You are thriving as well, and we flourish and grow in our environment. So let's take a look at the cards for the week and see how we got here today. So we started off the week by affirming that we are proactive, that we take initiative and prepare for eventualities. And this is such an important thing, because when we make the mental leap from being reactive to being proactive, from responding to what is happening to us right now versus responding to what we anticipate is going to happen in the future based on our knowledge of the past, it gives us such a tremendous leg up, because then when these things happen, which are fairly predictable, we've already taken care of them. Of course, that proactivity, that initiative that we take, the preparations that we make, prepare us to be collaborative, to work harmoniously toward shared visions, which is as what we affirmed for ourselves on Tuesday. We affirmed that we are collaborative, And the best way to be collaborative is to have that level of proactivity, because when we are proactive, and we are preparing for things that are to come, other people recognize this, and they recognize the inherent leadership in that, and they would like to collaborate with us as well. So not only do we work harmoniously with others toward their shared visions, we also attract people to ourselves who are interested in working harmoniously with us toward ours. All this stuff, that collaborative spirit that we engender allows us then to be diligent, to continuously learn and improve, which is what we affirmed on Wednesday, that we are diligent, that we are consistently getting better and better, as the very famous mantra goes: every day in every way I am getting better and better. And so this continuous learning and improvement brings us to a place where we ultimately become an authority on the things that we dedicate our lives to, which makes us authoritative. We speak and act with conviction. We speak and act from what we know. We're not guessing about it. We're not creating conjectures about it. We're not thinking about it. We know when because we are because we're diligent about our understandings, we get to speak and act with that conviction, which makes us authoritative, which brings us the respect of our peers. Of course, all of this stuff brings us to our card for today, which is that we are thriving and we flourish and grow in our environment. So we thrive because we are authoritative about what we know. We're authoritative about what we know because we are diligent about learning it. The thing that we are inspired to diligence because it is part of a collaborative effort, and we have some external accountability to be diligent. And ultimately, it all begins with us being proactive about making sure that we are setting ourselves up for future success. Each and everything one of these things leads us to our awesome Saturday card, which is that we are awesome. And so let's recognize our inherent value and worth. Each and every one of us is on this earth for just a short time, and so let's make the absolute most of it. To the best of any of our knowledge, we only get one go around, and so let's make this go around something absolutely amazing. Let's make sure that we're making choices today that are setting ourselves up for an amazing, beautiful future tomorrow. And let's make sure that we are pouring all of our love into our day today, and pouring our love into the people around us, pouring our love into ourselves, and ultimately respecting and honoring the creation that's all around us simply by being a cooperative component in it. My beautiful friends, I'm thriving today. You are thriving as well. And so let's flourish and grow in our environments. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're going to come up with the Awesome Saturday service. Going to continue the series on magic words, where we are talking about some of the smallest words in the English language and how they have a profound and outsized effect on the way that we think. So join me for that tomorrow, 11 a.m. tomorrow. And otherwise, I'll be back at 9 a.m. on Monday with another wake up call. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you. I think you're awesome, and I'm very happy to continue to go on this journey with you. So good morning again to Lauren and Chris and Tony. Wonderful to see you guys here today. And let's see if anybody else has commented. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Lane. Good morning, Amy Jo. Wonderful to see you here also. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. And I will talk to y'all on Saturday 11 or Monday at 9. Until then, aloha from paradise.